Just quickly before we get into the video, I want to apologise for this coming out much later than it should have. England has decided that the sun is a good role model and therefore has tried to replicate its temperatures. As a result of this, I have spent past couple weeks sat in my room sweating a lot, so I didn't get this out. But I'm cooler now, so hopefully, yeah, just have fun, watch the video, I don't care.
Hello. In today's video, we're going to be painting up these fellgore ravagers kill team. I'm quite excited. I have a lot of cool ideas for these beastly barnyard boys. So cool, I'll see you post Zenithal for when we start the painting. So here they all are Zenithalled up. I'm really happy with the way it looks. I think it's really cool. The red Zenithal. Maybe I should have done more on that guy's chest. But anyway, so I intend on giving them all sort of tannish flesh parts with maybe brownish fur. I want them all to be a little bit different, so I'll do different shades of brown for each of them. However, I think this guy is with Mage Dude. I want to give him white fur because he's all old and wise and stuff. The big bad guy, he's going to get a black goat fur because he's all evilly. What else? I don't know, let's be fun. Let's make this one ginger. And maybe I'll do this one a sort of greenish fur because he's all sickly. Ugh. Cool, let's get into it.
To start off this paint job, I threw some Guilliman Flesh contrast paint over all of their skin areas. This sort of turned the white of the Zenithal into a sort of peachy colour and helped to darken the recesses a little bit. I then picked a light skin tone and did this over all of the muscles and highlights and stuff. After this, I mixed in a little bit of a very light pink, and I just did this on the very tips of the upward facing muscles on most of the guys. However, as for the ginger man, and I think the mage guy as well, I did this as a much broader highlight over them to give them a much more pale look. Finally, for the skin, I threw a little bit of pink in the mix and put that on their noses, just to give them bright faces. I then moved on to the fur of most of them. I just did some highlights of brown over darker brown and just build that up. At this point, the heat was starting to get to me and I was getting a bit lazy. So I just threw contrasts over everything else. Green for the grenades, a sort of reddish tan for the weird armband things that they've got. After this, I built up a couple reds for their sort of cloak, towel, whatever they're wearing. Then for their weapons, I wanted to try something out. I did, I think it's Noble Skin speed paint over the Zenithal weapons, which looked pretty good by itself. I then did a quick little metallic dry brush over that to give it a bit of shine, and then I tried some watered down oranges and this gave me a really nice rust effect. As for the hair of the ginger goat, I just built up some oranges. For the hair of the grey goat, I just used another speed paint because I'm lazy, and then I highlighted that up with a sort of off-white. For the sickly goat, I did the same skin colours as the rest, but I mixed a bit of green in with it all, just giving him a more dead skin tone. As for his hair, I went with a grey, yet again with a bit of green in it. I then painted up the sort of smoke coming out of his grenade with greens, which I think looks pretty cool. On the ginger's towel thingies, I decided to do blue into a sort of purpley bit, just to make him a bit different, because you know, he's a bit of an outcast, he's separate, he doesn't have a weapon, he's not as cool as all the other guys. I then painted the horns, and I did the eyes just quickly in red. As for the leader, I threw a black contrast paint over his whole body, everything, and then I highlighted up the beard with grey, and I was lazy so I left the skin just contrast paint, and then all the other steps on him were the same.
So now that they're painted, all that's left to do is a little bit of basing. Here they are. I'm thinking some sort of, because they're little demon goat guys, why not give them sort of demon hellish faces? So I've got a couple things here. We've got some sand texture paste just to, you know, smooth out the base and stuff. I've got a little baggie here of 3D printed rocks, sort of jaggedy ones. They should be nice. I've also got a little tub of real rocks. What else? We've got some Citadel skulls, of course, and red grass tufts. So, yeah, I think let's just throw this all together and see what comes out. Sorry. Let's get into it. So step one is obviously remove it from the base without breaking them. And then I'm going to do one just to test, and then I'll quickly pop up the rest. I'm thinking, do I want to? Yeah. Okay. No, we're gonna do the much cooler thing than using this. We've got the best basing material, cheap clay. There it is. It's a nice dust stone. I'm just going to use this to add a bit of height to the base and a bit of variation. Which side is it open? It's open on this. Okay. Give me a sec. And I'm just going to push this in first, just to add up some, height and maybe a little bit of it would probably be good to add some glue, just to make sure. No, I'm going to do the glue after I get the rough shape, just because I don't want to get glue all over my fingers. So it's obviously, as you can see, it's not sticking to the base. That's why we're going to use the glue. But yeah, I'm just going to smooth it out. There we go. We don't have to cover the whole base, but I'm going to because I want to. Cool. Well, let me get this out of the way. And then, where am I? Here they are. So next, I'm going to take one of these little 3D printed Rockies. Should I have done that all over my desk? No. Did I? Yes. Do I regret it? Also yes. As you can see, I'm a professional. Now that I've got the shape I want, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue over the base. This will just help it stick down to the base, because we don't want it all falling off. There we go. And then, while we wait for that to dry, I'm going to pick out some nice stones. I think this big one and a small one should do good. Probably. Okay, so next I'm just going to sort of smush this rock in. Hopefully, you don't want to put it too close to the centre, because then, then it will take up all the space where your man is supposed to stand. But I think that should be good. Oh no, I need it to go in a bit more. Okay, I'm going to glue it in there, just so it doesn't come out. And then I'm going to sort of mould the clay up to it, so it looks like it's a real part of the terrain, you know what I mean? There we go. Maybe give that just a second to sort of dry, so that I don't accidentally push the rock out. I've already glued my fingers together. You're also probably going to want to just push your character in slightly, just to give their feet some holes. So here's one of them finished up. It's in focus. None of them are attached yet, because I still need to prime the bases. But here's a look at one of them. Now, as you can see, it's not the best texture on here. Some areas are really flat, some areas are really fingerprinty and mushy. So to solve this issue, and also to sort of blend the rocks better into the clay, I'm going to use some AK Terrain's Sandy Desert. This is sort of sandy texture paste. Anyone should work. This is just my preferred one. And I'm going to sort of just smooth it out over the base. Will I do the whole base? Probably. I'm just going to rub that over all the base, not in the holes where their feet are going, because I'll still be able to stand in it. And then also, on top of that, I have my tin of sand. And I'm going to push some sand into it. No, not these ones. But I'm going to push the sand in to look like small rocks. And also I have the skulls, which I'm going to get some out and push them in. I think I want this to look like a sort of hellish environment, so I'm going to do a lot of skulls. But yeah, let's get into it. So step one, as I said, just take some of this. You can just scoop it out with a knife, or if you've got proper tools, they're probably better. You just want to put a blob in and just sort of smooth it out across the base. Now, you don't want to go on the rocks, but if you get a little bit on them, it's fine. It should just add a nice little bit of texture and grit to them. And you want to go all around, sort of push it up to the, it's not in focus, is it? There we go. Sort of push it all up towards, you can scrape some more off. There, you don't want any big blobs that are obviously going to poke out. That would be bad. Like that one there. Sort of smush it down. Once you've gotten the base to a point you're happy with, just take some sand, just get a pinch, and just sort of sprinkle it in, and sort of push it in with your finger, like that. And then, as you can see, if it would focus, it leaves you with a nice little bit of rock texture. Now, I like to do this in sort of patches. As you can see, there's a patch at the front and a smaller patch at the back. Oh, not got out. But yeah, I don't like to do it over the whole base because it looks a bit, you know, doesn't look the best. But a couple little patches of it in different spots on the bases, I think looks pretty good. Adds a bit more texture. So here's one of the bases all dried. You can see there's still the holes for the feet and all the sand and rocks. Sorry, I have very shaky hands. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. I think they look quite good. I think next is we're going to do a liquid focus. There we go. I'm thinking a zenithal, but instead of white over black, I'm going to do red over black. And hopefully that should look quite cool. And then I'll put paint over it afterwards. Let's do that, yeah. Want to see something cool. There they are, all finished. I think it looks quite good. I really like how it's sort of very dark in the edges. I think maybe this one will show it better. There you can see it's really dark in some spots, but you've got the really nice bright red on all the tops, and I think it looks really good.
Painting the bases was pretty easy. It was just simply mixing some black and dark red to paint all the rocks on their feet that obviously didn't get zenithaled. I then went in with a lighter red to highlight all the rocks on the base. I then used a sort of dark brownish red for the skulls, and then used a bone colour to slowly highlight up. And with that, I think we're done. So please like and subscribe so that I can go sit and sweat again. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.